that was a big sign to me that you're really focused on this and focused on the client's results. As you said, the numbers don't lie. The one thing I like about you is the consistency is like pretty much always there. Like I know some of the pages are doing $40 LTV.
Hello everyone, here's again Dominic from Disturb Agency, and today we have another testimonial from the one and only Shane Francis. Everyone who has been in here for a long time in this industry knows him. He really shaped and formed the entire industry from the first day up until now and continuing also in the future. But enough being said, Shane, you can introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Shane Francis. As Dominic said, I've been in the space for about 3 years. I've used chatters on and off myself. I've used chatting agencies, and that's pretty much my chatting background. But looking forward to the discussion.
Great. So, first of all, what niche do you mainly work in, and what is your main traffic sources right now?
So it's fluctuated a lot, but the past 6 months we've really been diving into Instagram. Reddit used to be my main one, and I do think chatting for Reddit is one of the best, but in terms of overall traffic that you can get, Instagram is just top dog right now. With the niches, we really try to brand down our creators, so something really specific, and I think that really helps the LTV go up. But across the agency, we have Asian girls, we have white girls that are in very specific brands. A lot of them are talking now directly to the camera. I think it really builds the hype around the creator. And the main thing is just trying to have a girl with a brand that happens to have an OnlyFans, not an OnlyFans girl. That is the main thing we're focused on.
Great. And with that being said, are your pages mostly free or paid? And if they're free, why did you put them free?
So mostly we're doing free pages now. I think the main benefit of that is you can, over time, I think traffic is just going to get harder and harder. And I think having free pages now and building up the base of having subscribers on your platform where you pretty much own them, I think that is a massive asset that a lot of agencies are neglecting. So right now we're really pushing free.
So can you expand a little bit on that? Before working with us, how were you handling chatting or sales, in-house or other agencies or both? Can you give us a quick rundown?
So I first started off, when I first got into the business, I had a few guys from Ireland that were doing chatting for us. We were paying them 30%, which you pointed out is a massive issue. But we were paying 30% of messages and tips. That was easy for me in the beginning because it was easy to outsource. They were good people. Like they had their head screws on, a high IQ. They could figure out a lot in the beginning by themselves. It allowed me to focus on traffic and outsource that. So we started off with our own chatters. Then I kind of dived deep into chatting agencies because when I first started YouTube, there was barely any resources online. Like you really had to dive deep into Google, Discord, Telegram. Telegram wasn't even around really, to find chatting agencies and stuff like that. So I came across one, I won't mention them, but they were absolutely terrible. We had a month where we did like 15,000 subs and it was like a 2-to-1 chatting ratio. That was my first experience with chatting agencies. And then shortly after I found you had really good chatting. And between that time of the first chatting agency and you, I've just been kind of experimenting around. And yeah, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. You could have one account, 2 accounts with one chatting agency. One of them is doing really well. The other account absolutely sucks. But the one thing I like about you is the consistency is like pretty much always there.
Great, thank you very much. So what exactly, or what made you switch from having your own chatters for 30%, the Irish ones, to switching to a chat agency?
So 2 of them left. They just didn't want to be in the business before, or like anymore. It is quite taxing on the brain. So my hats off to chatters doing this full time. It is a tough job to really dive deep into it. So 2 of them left. They just like didn't want to do it anymore. They wanted to focus on their own careers, stuff like that. And then that slowly dissolved. So I was like, right, I don't want to dive deep into this. I need to outsource it because traffic is the main thing. I think if you can get a good chat agency, you just need to plug in traffic and the business becomes a lot easier. So that was the main reason, just to buy back my time and focus on traffic.
Amazing, and this worked out pretty well. How did you first hear about us?
So about 2.5, 3 years ago, I set up a group called Verified Earners. It's basically a group for people making, at the time it was 50K on an account, now it's 100K. And you were one of the first people to join, and we kind of built a relationship then. I met you later on in Cyprus. That's when we got to know each other. And then, yeah, I seen how hard you worked. Anytime we were together, you were always on the laptop. You were always checking in on your pages, on everything. Even when everyone else was drinking, off partying or whatever, you were always working. So that was a big sign to me that you're really focused on this and focused on the client's results. So that was the main reason why I decided, okay, I'm interested in working with you after I got to know you.
Okay, great. What was the main thing you cared about most when switching to me?
Chatting LTVs. So with free pages, I would say most chatting agencies are doing like $2 to $3. If you can get over $5, a chatting agency, if they're doing that, I think it's quite good. But your numbers are a lot higher. Like I know some of the pages are doing $40 LTV. So it's a big jump. And when you're doing free pages, there's no other really revenue coming in with subscriptions. So it's all down to the chatters. I can fulfill on the traffic, but it's the chatting agency that really delivers. And your LTVs are just sky high. So it's LTV at the end of the day.
Yeah, numbers don't lie, and at the end of the day, it's all about how much you're getting per sub. And what do you love most about working with us?
It's so easy. Anytime there's an issue, there's a message on Telegram telling me what's up, telling me what the reason is. If there's anything we need, you provide all the content, all the scripts, whatever the chatting strategy is at the time. If you decide to change it, I just get a Notion tab sent into Telegram and I just repackage it sometimes for the creators, or I just send it directly to the creators. It's super hands off and it's no extra work for me.
How is coordination and communication compared to other chatting teams you have tried?
I would say you're definitely the top percentile. I think some chatting agencies, I've worked with a good few, they just on board, once you give them the logins, there's a bit of chat back and forth for an hour. This is going to be great. And then you don't hear from them until the invoice gets sent. That's pretty much how it usually goes. But with you guys, you really stay on top of the chats in Telegram with the chatting agency or with the clients that you're working with. And it's just, it's good. Even when things might be shaky, there might be 1 or 2 days where something's going wrong, inflow might be down, you're on it straight away. Like the messages get sent immediately.
Who would you recommend our backend chatting services to, and why?
I mean, I have a private group. I have Verified Earners. Anytime anyone mentions it to me, I always say go with Dominic. It's just, I know you work hard and you really focus on, as you said, the numbers. The numbers don't lie. And yeah, it's just affiliates, reaching out to people. That's the best way to grow a business. And because you're doing the numbers, you're getting the results. It's easy to grow. All I have to say is this is the chatting agency I use. I use them because they get the best numbers. That's pretty much it. I don't even get an affiliate for it. So.
Anything else you want to add to this call?
I think the most important thing, if you're starting off, is traffic is number one. Traffic is the most important thing. It's like the first part of the funnel. If no one knows who your girl is, you're never going to need the chatting in the back end to fill the sales regardless. So if you can find a good chatting agency that allows you to outsource all of your time on chatting, which is a huge monumental task, and dive deep into traffic, it's a really good way of growing your business super quick because you don't have to worry about chatting, which is pretty much 60 to 70% of the business. Once traffic is there, it's all down to chatters. So my one thing that I would say to anyone is if you're starting off in this business, or if you have 2 or 3 creators, and especially if you're by yourself, you're not good at outsourcing, I would get the chatting outsourced as quickly as possible because it allows you to focus a lot more on the traffic. Once you have employees, systems in place for the traffic, then you might come back to chatting for your new creators. But why would you need to do that if you have a good chatting agency? They're going to fulfill on the back end, so you don't really need to worry about it. So the main thing is just focus on traffic, number one. It's the most important thing.
All right, amazing. Yeah, that's it for today's call. Thank you so much for being here, and Thank you so much for trusting and using our service. Really appreciate working with you. It's so nice, and let's continue like that.